Sean Elliott Russell writes, Fantastic Four, what do you think the studio needs to do to reverse the animosity and the lack of faith in the film?
Well, you know, it's funny that since the trailer dropped yesterday, and I've been dealing with this for a long time. I have never understood, let's start off with this. I have never understood the automatic assumption of failure of Fantastic Four because there's nothing to base it on. Now, you can go back and say, oh, 7 years ago, they made awful, awful, awful Fantastic Four movies. There's no debate. I'm not going to disagree with any of that. They were terrible. But what has happened in Fox in the recent years? They've had a turnaround at Fox. They've had a bit of an upheaval. And now the last couple of comic book films they've put out have been stellar. X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past. We've got a director on board who directed pretty much the universally loved Chronicle film. So we got a good director on board. We got the guy who wrote X-Men Days of Future Past, which all of us loved, writing the film. You've got Miles Teller starring in it, who has got a lot of Oscar buzz this year. He didn't get a nomination, nor should he have, but he was right in the thick of the conversation when you talk about the 12 guys maybe who could get nominated for Best Actor this year because of his performance in Whiplash. J.K. Simmons says, my character doesn't exist. I remember hearing Simmons say this. My character doesn't exist if it wasn't for Miles Teller. That tells you something about the performance that Miles Teller gave. You got Kate Mara, I was going to say Mara Rooney. Kate Mara is in it, who is a dynamic, wonderful actress. You got Michael B. Jordan, who probably should have got nominated for an Academy Award last year for Fruitvale Station. So a studio that's really heading in the right direction, a good director, a good writer, a solid cast, and then a trailer that comes out as good. And I'm sorry, I had somebody actually email me and say, well, John, why did you not like the Interstellar trailer, but you did like this? These are basically the same trailers. And I said, well, let's be specific here. I did not dislike the Interstellar trailer. I disliked the first Interstellar trailer. All the other ones I thought were really great. But the first Interstellar trailer, is there a same tone as this Fantastic Four trailer? Yeah, I'll say there's the same tone. But in the first Interstellar trailer, it literally gave us nothing. It showed us nothing but, you know, the reconnaissance driving through a cornfield and shots of pictures on shelves and a shot of space. We don't actually, and you had no idea what that movie was about whatsoever. And I still contend to this day that if at the end of that trailer it didn't say from Christopher Nolan, if it said same trailer, but said from Michael Bay, everybody would have universally said how terrible that trailer was. But they didn't because it said Christopher Nolan on it. I believe this trailer gives us insight into the characters. It gives us a sense of the temperature and the tone of the film. We get a little bit of a sense that something major happens to them. We get this understand they're explorers of some kinds. They go into those capsules. They get obviously teleported to some other dimension. It actually gives us quite a bit, and I think it lays it out really well. I am really of the opinion that I think there's a lot of people, not everybody, but I think there's a lot of people out there who just predetermined that they were going to say, that Fantastic Four trailer sucked, no matter how good this trailer was. Because I sit back and I try to be objective. I look at the trailer, I was like, this is a good trailer, man. And so what do they need to do to really change this PR thing? Just keep putting out good trailers. Because as much as we hear all these people complaining and whining about the film, sometimes that's us. But as much as we hear all these people complaining, remember, this online fan community represents maybe 1 out of 10. It maybe represents 10% of the people who are actually going to go to the movie theaters and see it. My mom has never heard any of the complaints about Fantastic Four. You know, my cousin has never heard any because he's not living in the online movie sphere. So I think the vast majority of the movie-going public are just going to see these trailers. They're going to accept them for what they are. Fox just needs to keep putting out these good trailers and put out a good movie. And that's what the real challenge is, put out a good movie. This movie could still suck. Just because it's a good trailer doesn't mean anything. But it is a good trailer. Anyway, Mark, what do you think?
I agree with a lot of your points. I think that when you talk about your mom and your cousin who aren't aware of any of the problems that were going on during the making of this movie or the rumored struggles on set, all that they're aware of is that there was a very bad Fantastic Four film that was made.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the adversity comes from. I think that people who aren't in the film industry, maybe they're aware that the kid from Whiplash, oh yeah, he was really good in that drum movie, movie, and now he's going to be playing a superhero. That's kind of interesting. Oh, that Michael B. Jordan guy, I like him. Oh, the granddaughter, the guy who owns the Giants, is going to be in this too. I think that, but when you hear Fantastic Four, in most film fans' minds, they're not going to be thinking about all these things yet. They're just going to be thinking about, oh yeah, they really never have had success with that on the big screen. And it's not like the Avengers, so it's different. And I don't know if I want to see that yet. However, if you stay the course and you keep making trailers like what we saw yesterday, I think it's going to win people over. Now, this is not a situation like with Age of Ultron. I don't need to see any more footage. I've already bought my ticket. I've already rated my wallet, and I am paying to see Ultron 3 times. With Fantastic Four, you got to show me a little bit more just to get me jacked, just to give me a little more confidence going in there that my dollar is going to pay off when I get to see a great film in August.
Shep?
Yeah, I mean, we're guilty of, like, a year ago, we were like calling it the Fantastic Four babies. I mean, it's like when you hear about a film, from the initial conception of it, like we were dealing with the Fantastic Four and the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2 pretty bad films as far as, like, if you liked that comic book franchise. These were, like, they tried to stay faithful to kind of the jokey family elements, which doesn't really work in the superhero genre so far. Like, I haven't seen anything except for maybe Kick-Ass, which had a bit of a sense of humor, but a dark sense of humor. This version of the Fantastic Four, I've been reading a lot of people's comments online. I mean, certain people are just ready to hate it. They're like, they'd wear their blue costumes. Like, someone actually wrote that. This is gonna suck, wear their blue costumes. Because they're all wearing different costumes, the movie sucks.
Right.
So you have to deal with that kind of mentality and sift through it. And then you can find some people who are like, I don't like it because doesn't have that comical edge that the other 2 films had. So you can't satisfy everyone. And actually, the people who are writing in, they're more vocal about things if they don't like it. So it seems that way.
Yeah,
so
that's true. And you're right. I for a long time, when the cast first got announced, I might have coined the phrase "the Fantastic Four babies," because I did not want a younger cast. I wanted a more seasoned cast. But I, at some point, just had to accept, okay, well, this is what they did.
Right.
I still don't have to feel good about that, and I don't, but I accept it. So I got to move on from it and then just judge the trailer on the trailer's basis. Some people don't like the fact that Doom isn't going to be the leader of Latveria. Okay, and that's fine. Just like I don't like the cast being younger, but like me, at some point, you just got to put that aside and say, okay, well, let's just judge the movie on its own merits and say, okay, let's look at all the other circumstances and facts surrounding it, and let's see where we go. It will be interesting to see how this movie turns out, because this could shut a lot of people up, or it could bury the Fantastic Four franchise forever. I mean, really could.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.